everyone doing? Let me get myself on the screen. There I am. I'm back. Oh boy, what the difference a day makes. My mom said there'd be days like these. By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing the bell, and clicking on the like button. I know one of our longtime subscribers, Wavy, is here in the house. Thank you for being here as always. So, well, we were discussing 1,000. Now we're looking at 909 again. And you know what? We had the bullish buy pattern yesterday. The only thing I tweeted was raising stops at the 1 hour rotate. I mean, the daily rotation zone. We pulled this down a bit. Well, when we gapped open, we were right at the daily rotation zone. So on shorter term positions, not on the daily buy, but on shorter terms, it was like raising stops. And then this is why you always trade with stops. And then we just had this massive selling pressure. Pause, massive selling pressure, and it could not get any traction. This is why we prepare. Prepare for both sides. You know, you never know, and this is why trading, even with high probability stuff, that daily buy pattern, which does actually have very, very strong percentages in the, I think it's the upper 70s. Look, it wiped out that low. The trade's off. I mean, it's done. Okay, but that's why you stick with your stops, because this is not bullish price action. Now, I think, was this Elon selling again? It looked like it. But we're getting rotation out of a lot of these momentum tech stocks also. It could be both. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do we think? You don't fight the tape, though. You don't fight that kind of trading. So when you start seeing, though, again, momentum bars, if you've learned one thing, if I could only teach you one thing besides harmonics, well, even if you don't want to learn that, learn to spot momentum bars first from the downside and the upside. And then if they're going against you, don't fight it. You know, use it to raise stops. And if they're going with you, you can use it to get on trades. If you have nothing, like this afternoon was just this was crap. Once we lost all the major selling in the momentum bars, it was crap. But there was nothing to do. There were no strong, good signals in here. There was nothing to do from the bullish side. In the morning, there was great stuff to do from the bearish side. I know somebody who listens to this probably took advantage to the downside, especially you spot this kind of stuff, brief little pause, and some more selling comes in. Well, I know they're probably lightening up with soft stuff, and if you have Elon selling, and I just don't think it's Tesla. I think a lot of these to the moon tech stocks are just getting hammered. They're starting to get hammered. Danjet thinks it was Elon. NASDAQ, yeah, I did the market overview. NASDAQ is the weakest of the three, and the NASDAQ is back for me in bearish mode. There's in the Dow's holding up, which there's rotation into some quality. There's definitely rotation out of tech into quality. Okay, so I would keep that in mind. That puts further pressure on the Tesla and these kind of stocks. Also, yeah, some people speculating is Elon selling over. You're not going to know if his selling's over unless he literally announces it, which he could. He could say, "Hey guys, I'm done." I mean, he announces everything else on Twitter, so why not say when he's done selling? Until that happens, you don't know. He could cancel the remainder of his plan. His plan could go into sometime next year still, even. He could cancel and refile a plan for resume selling in the spring. He could do a lot of things, but we don't know. It's speculation, and that's what's so hard, because it's not like he's selling just a little. And we're going to watch for that 4 and 4. But, and you're guessing. He's 70% of the way there, 80% of the way there, because you don't know. That 17 million mark is a guess. So, again, all this is guessing. What you have to literally do, if you're playing this from the bullish side only, when you see this, and I don't care if it's institutions or Elon or somebody else, It doesn't matter. These are momentum bars. Do not try to pick a bottom unless you get a strong signal. There were no bottoming signals today that I had. Nothing worth anything. It's a gap. Don't fight this and raise your stops. You start seeing this, it's better to take a stop loss. If you were long from even yesterday, you could have even raised a stop and gotten out for partial. Don't be afraid also to lock in something. Remember, I said, even from yesterday, we're still against the 4-hour and daily rotation zones. So you have to move up your stops, because what happens? And you could say, well, it's just a matter of a coincidence. Well, we enter a daily rotation zone and we rotate down. There's selling pressure. It just happens to work out that way. So, on any long positions, there's a long trigger yesterday and it's done. Now we still have this gap left behind. There's also some really big tug of war down here. So how many bottoms do we have now down here? I mean, we're still stair-stepping lower, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, then drifting down, and this end-of-day price action was not strong in my book. So I am really starting to focus on that final gap fill to 909. I have literally not one bullish setup on the chart at all right now. Not one. Let's see where we sit with some levels and everything else. My last cluster for the day was this 924, and we broke that and then closed back above it. At this point, let's reset these levels. We don't even have a pausing bar there yet. I have to reset this one though. I mean, I'm not even going to use those. We're just sticking with the bigger cluster still that we just broke below, which is 9, 10, 23, and then we have this 909, and we have that gap fill. So that's on a further weakness tomorrow. That's my target. And then where are we? We have now this huge cluster area, 892 to 897. So that's my next target. Then below there, we have about 877 and 867. I'm going to be interested. Remember, I'm watching, this potential double bottom on the daily basis is still technically in play, but it was probably going to get blown out of the water. And I'm not liking the right side of this. This is nearly invalidating it. But on any selling pressure tomorrow, it's off the table. I'm just going to take it off now to clean up the chart. And if we head back up and it's still valid, I'll just put it back on. I'm just looking at this. There is nothing. And remember, we still have that potential double top pattern in play. I'm watching for the weekly trigger tomorrow. And look at this. The bottom of the weekly rotation zone also right above that 909, 908, 909. That's the magnet now for me. I'd be really shocked. Well, nothing shocks me anymore with this crazy stock. But I'd be really shocked if we don't come and tag the bottom of the rotation zone tomorrow. And it would have to get back above this 978.60 tomorrow to not trigger this massive double top. So now look, I'm going to say, it's most likely going to trigger, and then it'll have a rip your face off rally back to 1,000. You just watch. That's the nature sometimes it's the nature of trading. That's why trading is really tough. It's never easy, but that's why you prepare. So I'm pretty much in major bearish mode right now. In order to prove itself, I'm just looking, what would I need to get into bullish mode tomorrow? I'm just seeing. We don't, unless we came back down and made like some bottoming pattern down here, there is nothing. And this is just, if you look from a just support standpoint, you have this nice little support wedge. Now remember, every test weakens the level, and then this end of day price action below it just broke through it. So just seeing if there's anything to get to. I'm trying to make up a bullish case just to help people who might want to get bullish tomorrow. I mean, with this kind of momentum, I mean, the 62.5% from this sell-off move, this was just horrible. Is it 967? Sorry, I'm just doing this real time while I'm thinking, and I just don't have. I'm literally right about here then. 958 again. I'm back to 958. Until there, unless I get some kind of really strong in the morning bottoming pattern, or we get momentum bars to the upside, I can't be bullish until it gets above 958. In this stock, there's always a bullet. I mean, this then you watch. Then we'll gap open at 958, and it'll be off to the races. You know. uh So, unless, again, this is why you should probably join Discord, because there'll be some stuff. There is a bullish pattern. I'll put it in there in the morning. Other than that, I'd have to get momentum bars to the upside, a bullish reversal pattern, or above 958.30 to do anything bullish. To the downside, I'm just focused on this gap fill, this 910, 909 area. And then if that doesn't hold, I'm back down to 897 to 900. 900 just because it's a round number and people will key off of it. But my next harmonic is we have this whole area. And if we have another really weak day, remember it's options expiration tomorrow, futures expiration, so it switches to the March contracts. I mean, you should technically be on the March contract now already, but the December contract expires tomorrow. So 892 to 897 is the major support area, but that's the magnet to 910. And I really don't have anything else. Expect the unexpected then. Because the market is down, would you say that the probability is I think that's stronger to the downside? I mean, right now, let's just go through. The only left line in the sand is, the weekly rotation zone, which could get taken out tomorrow, and then everything, and then trigger the double. Yeah. And this is where I'm, with this kind of price action, with wiping out a bullish signal from yesterday, I'm getting in agreement with the motor trade. He's looking for 850 plus or minus 25, so 875 to 825. Our first double target is down at 846, which I still need the trigger for. And then the bigger picture, I mean, especially if we keep getting this unwind of these momentum tech stocks, boy, you could see this back. I could see this longer, not by the end of the year, but if we start getting even more market sell off at the beginning of next year, this could easily be back in the 700s, which would freak a lot of people out. But right now, the only thing barely holding it together is a weekly rotation zone. But when I see a signal that's a very good probability signal just wiped out in a day, there is a lot of bearish sentiment starting to get in here. Even coming up here, testing this prior support area, becoming resistance, and just rolling over. And as long as there is still the Elon selling, I don't see a lot of people just saying, I'm just going to back up the truck to really do something with this stock. Getting closer to oversold level. Other than that, nothing. I'm going to scare away the bulls. How much lower? I'm going to be watching this first target for the double. If this triggers tomorrow on that weekly close, that's my major line in the sand, first major line in the sand, and then I'll have to assess how it gets there. because that's also right. We still have some gaps here. Remember when this was going on its tear, we left all these gaps behind, and so this is a very large magnet, 843.30. We're right around Motor Trade's 850 price target. So that's where my longer term, that's my first key level I'm going to be keying off of. Going to be scaring away the bulls. I think some of this price action is scaring away the bulls. Uh, when it went vertical up, it got way too overextended, and it tried to hold up multiple times, and you just have this selling pressure, Elon and more than Elon related. All right, I don't need to say anything else tonight. We have it's going to be tough to get into bullish mode tomorrow at all, so it's pretty much sit on hands or bearish mode and watch for that gap fill. And with that, I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.